Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the next round in the Hearthstone correction, the Hearthstone CEA Legends number 7. My name is Technolink and I'm going to bring you all the action. I believe that I will need to actually... yes, that was to be expected. The overlay did not update properly. So yes, we're looking at Fizdarth against SilentStorm, and also need to actually show Fizdarth's hand, because else we might be... we are only going to be seeing the hand from SilentStorm, and of course I'm trying to get myself into the hand of Fizdarth as fast as I can. Did not work. Apparently I can't get the the spectator mode in. Yes, now it's working, I think. Yes, we have it, It's the Druid deck against the Mage deck. It's taking a little bit longer than I expected. So again, we have SilentStorm playing his Mage mech deck. We have Fizdarth playing the Druid ram deck, as we were used to seeing from the Druids. And well, I hope that you guys are going to have a lot of fun here. And yes, apparently starting now. Yeah, it's taking 3 minutes longer. For now though, we have the Snow Jugger on the battlefield. We're just going to be waiting until things are going to be breaking out. Innervate coming into the action. Root of Claw is a very solid choice there, choosing to go for the charge to take out the Snow Jugger. And if we're dealing with the mech deck, well, then there's only one thing that you can do, is just make sure that there are no mechs on the board at any time. And we saw that before. In the I believe 2 games ago, it was, I believe, the Rogue deck against the Mech Mage deck, where the Rogue deck was able to keep the Mech Mage at bay for a long time, and then immediately using the combo coming out. And this wolf is frozen. Correction, wolf. It's not really a wolf. It's more like a tiger, a panther, and he's singing "Let It Go" all the time, and probably annoying SilentStorm in the process a little bit here. So what does SilentStorm want to be dropping here? He has a few options in his hands. Mad Science is probably the best one into Annoytron. That's at the very least going to allow SilentStorm to get a little bit of defense going, and also making sure that even if they do manage to drop a charge monster on the side of Fizdarth's field, and he will be safe for a little bit longer. So now he's just going to be a little bit more control-ish, because if there's one thing you have to realize when you're playing these types of matchups, you have to consider who is the beatdown. In this case, the beatdown is Fizdarth. He wants to get as much damage in as possible, at least at this stage of the game. Get some damage in and then prepare for the Savage Roar plus Force of Nature combo that we see so often coming out of these Druids. SilentStorm, he needs to get to the mid game. That's where he's going to be shining with his deck. Getting to 6-7 mana, getting his position right there before Fizdarth can deal SilentStorm enough damage for his Force of Nature combo to become lethal. So yeah, finally the stream has caught up. But Explosive Sheep coming out on the side of Fizdarth, that was a pretty big explosion right there, taking out the Divine Shield, of course, from Annoytron, but also giving him a secret, which is Mirror Entity, and that's one heck... Oh, why is Spider Tank this big? Oh, SilentStorm is hovering over it. It's not all that bad to see an Agent of Lore coming into play here. But the Mirror Entity is going to be doing the same. I don't know if he actually gets to draw the cards as well. I don't think so. I believe it's a Battle Cry. Yes, it is a Battle Cry, so that's not going to be copied at all. A little bit unfortunate though. Would have liked to draw two of those cards. But for now though, Fizdarth is going to be taking 6 to the face. And this is where SilentStorm is going to be shifting from his well, deal with the initial phase to the beatdown role. Because, well, Fizdarth has that sort of inevitability in the Force of Nature combo. Now though, he has a Sludge Belcher. He's going to be dropping that one to the battlefield. And while the Sludge Belcher is going to get taken out by the Ancient of War, actually Mirror Entity now as well, whenever your opponent plays a minion, summon a copy of it. SilentStorm will have to at least waste some of his resources, some of his attacks, just to get through the Sludge Belcher. And this actually opens up SilentStorm for a amazing swipe from the side of Fizdarth. So swipe into maybe an attack coming out of Fizdarth himself. That should at least clear out most of the board. I guess, well, the issue is of course you can't attack the Ancient of War due to the fact that, well, swipe only takes out one of the hit points on the Annoyatron. So another option would be to drop the swipe on the Annoyatron and then attack the Ancient of War. That's an option. You don't want to do that though. That's going to cost him a lot of life points. And at this point, Fizdarth wants to be regaining control of the match. He had a little bit of control at the start. Mid game, of course, is where SilentStorm will be more effective. But you can already see SilentStorm is running out of cards. Fizdarth still has a full hand of cards and can make a lot of plays happen. So I'm expecting, well, swipe into maybe attack the Ancient of War. It's a very interesting setup. Yeah, so it's going to be the swipe. That makes a lot of sense. Taking out most of the enemy's board, and now going to be clearing out that Annoyatron as well, making sure that it stops annoying Fizdarth for the coming moments. For now though, SilentStorm, he has the Time Rewinder. That's actually fantastic. Time Rewinder on the Ancient of War. That's going to be allowing him to cast it again for more cards. And we were talking about how he could not use all that many cards. Well, Ancient of War is going to be refueling his hand pretty fast. Keeper of the Grove and Big Game Hunter are right there. So depending on whether he wants to be casting Dr. Boom into this into this secret, well, he knows that it is not a counterspell, I believe. Yeah, it's not a counterspell because he already cast a swipe. That's what he knows. He knows that it's most likely, well, it could be an ice block or a ice shield. But Fizdarth, does he really want to be risking dropping a Dr. Boom into a possible mirror entity? I would disagree here. I would definitely not say that it would be smart to do so. So he's just going to be dropping the Big Game Hunter first. Or and then the mirror entity is going to be popping the Big Game Hunter. That's going to allow the Keeper of the Grove to immediately take that one out. Smart move here by SilentStorm, making sure that this is not going to be biting him in the ass. So for X-Rai XX, yeah, I'm only casting matches that I can get my hands on. Currently just following the top bracket because that makes life a lot easier, especially for casters. And oh my word, is that a double Blast Mage? That is indeed a double Blast Mage. So, well, let's see what Fizdarth has to say about this. He has the Dr. Boom in hand, but he's going to be taking a lot of damage if he's not taking out low tap here. So low tap is going to go down. Dr. Boom is going to come onto the battlefield. Let's see what SilentStorm can do in his next turn. Brings himself up to 9 mana crystals, of course. I would imagine pilot the Shredder into the Goblin Blast Mage and see what that leads his hand to. I wonder. For now though, a little bit of damage, nicely RNG generated there. 1 damage only to the Pilot Shredder and to SilentStorm, but he does get Cenarius. Cenarius is going to keep him alive for a little bit longer, but whether that's going to be enough to at least save him the upcoming turns, well, he has a few options. The option 1 is to drop Cenarius, summon 2 Treants with Taunt, and attack SilentStorm to the face with Dr. Boom. Another option is to take out the Ancient of War, or Ancient of Lore, sorry, not War, or Goblin Blast Mage. But it's very, very risky, to be honest. It's very, very risky if he decides to not go for SilentStorm's face. And to be honest, I would say go for SilentStorm's face because that opens it up for a possibility in the next turn. Because if you're going to be hoping that you're going to be surviving, well, you have to consider next turn you're not going to be able to survive if you don't drop the Scenarios with Taunt, and your goal is going to be to attack SilentStorm with everything you have. So You can only hope that the taunt doesn't go down. Well, the taunts don't go down. And that means that Fizdarth is going to be surviving this turn. And if Cenarius and Dr. Boom survive this one, that's 12 damage on the board, double Savage Roar, that's an additional 12 damage, so that's 24 damage that can be tossed into SilentStorm's face. Well, now of course it's going to be a little bit lower, but also no Force of Nature coming out. That's a little bit sad for Fizdarth. Can he now make the kill happen? He has 5 damage on the board. Savage Roar doubles that one to actually 5 damage plus whatever might be in there. Harrison Jones, no, that's not going to be helpful enough. He needed something like an Ancient of Lore to at least restore some health. But he also needed a taunt, and at this point Fizdarth, there's not much he can do about this. Double Savage Roar would have given him only a +8 in damage. That was only 13. And very nicely done by SilentStorm, taking out Dr. Boom instead of going for Fizdarth's face. Smart move, and so that allows him to gain the upper hand in game number 1. Alright, so as we are waiting for the next game to start, I'm going to make you all envious, or jealous, no, envious of my cookie. I have a nice cookie, you can see it. It's one of the most delicious things there is as we're going into game number 2. So SilentStorm, now having used his mage deck, I'm a little bit curious what he's going to be following up with next. He has his paladin deck. We saw that it's pretty much the standard paladin deck. But if we're looking at his opponent Fitz, he still has the warlock, he still has the hunter to bring out. So he's probably going to, yeah, he's going to be using his hunter, his druid once again. Apparently, people are asking whether I'm Titler. No, I am Techno. But yeah, if we're looking at SilentStorm, he's going to be mulliganing this hand. He is going to need a few more additional early drops here in order to save his soul. If we're looking at Fizdarth, well, he has a decent setup. He brings in an immediate turn 1 zombie chow, and that's going to be chowing down on SilentStorm's hit points. Actually, I need to update the overlay because SilentStorm now is 1-0 up against Fizdarth. So yeah, SilentStorm just doing the standard thing that what it does: say go, draw a card, life tap, draw a card, etc. And Fizdarth, correction, SilentStorm is doing that. Fizdarth is just going to try and deal with that as fast as he can. So I'm expecting a life tap to come out here from SilentStorm. There we go. And well, not much else he can do this turn. Of course, he can drop the Immortal Coil, but he's just going to be sitting back and enjoying the ride for now. And it looks like SilentStorm is taking, Fizdarth is taking SilentStorm on a wild ride. So, Druid of Claw, most likely going to be the charge version of the Druid of Claw, just to get down as much damage as he can. Issue though is, he might, if he does so, he might enable the Molten Giants a little bit earlier than he might have wanted. On the other hand though, well, taking down your opponent's life points as fast as you can, especially against a Warlock who's reliant on them. Okay, Sledge Belcher. That's an interesting choice here by Fizdarth. Sledge Belcher, while really good, I would have expected him to go for something a little bit more aggressive here, just to make sure that SilentStorm is as low as he can go. So yeah, Void Color coming into play by SilentStorm. Does he have any demons in his hands? Actually, he does not. He does not have any demons. So the Void Color, even if it does get taken out, does not summon a demon. So that's a little bit unfortunate for SilentStorm. Last time we actually saw him bring in the Lord Jaraxxus via the Void Color. But Shade of Naxxramas is going to be coming out for Fizdarth. That's going to be staying alive for quite a long time. But if we're actually looking at what might happen here, if he wants to go for it, he can use Void Color to attack the Sledge Belcher and then immediately drop the Hellfire to take out everything on the side of Fizdarth and only leaving him with one 1/1/2 Sludge Belcher Ling. I'm not entirely sure how it's called. A Sludgeling? A Slime. Slime with Taunt. That's a very valid proposition for him. Another option is, of course, to just suck it up a little bit longer. Maybe bring in the Sunfury Protector. But yeah, it's going to be Hellfire. There's no Demon, though, in the hand of SilentStorm. It's also something that SilentStorm is going to be knowing about, or rather Fizdarth is going to be knowing about. And Fizdarth now has the Ancient of Lore. I'm expecting him to actually drop the Druid of Claw with Charge, just to get as much damage in onto SilentStorm as possible, so that he can continue dropping him down lower. But another issue is that even if he does do so, he's only going to be enabling that Molten Giant a little bit earlier. So there's also the valid possibility, which he's doing right now, of deciding not to drop the haste, or rather the charge, onto the Druid of the Claw, and just sitting back and saying, okay, I want to be making sure that my board is a little bit more secure than it was before. So Fizdarth now can still go for that 6 damage onto SilentStorm, bring him down to 13, but that again opens him up for that Molten Giant abuse. And apparently I am the same as Diddler. I'm not entirely sure, but still. To be honest, I haven't seen Diddler before, but Harrison Jones putting even more pressure on the side of Fizdarth, but that runs straight into the Shadow Flame. I would expect an immediate attack by SilentStorm onto Fizdarth into the Shadow Flame in order to just clear out this entire board and setting up for the Dr. Boom next turn. Don't use Shadow Flame now, attack first! Well, actually it doesn't really matter because you can't... Actually, Mortal Coil in this case makes a lot more sense, but still, you could have attacked first and then maybe used Mortal Coil in the other way around. I mean, you could have played, there were so many different ways to play it. Attack first, then Mortal Coil, then use the Shadow Flame. In any case, he would have never touched Fizdarth's hit points. Fizdarth, though, dropping the Ancient of Lore, drawing the low tap, and this is actually pretty good for SilentStorm, especially given what he has in his hand. He's now going to be dropping the Twilight Drake and giving the Zombie Chow plus the Twilight Drake taunt, so that Ancient of Lore is going to take some time getting through this one. And Fizdarth draws the Wild Growth, and I would expect that he's going to be saving that one for later, because right now getting an additional Mana Crystal is not really going to be helping Fizdarth, and he can trade it in for a card later on. Things that he could be going for in the near future, maybe a Wrath onto the Zombie Chow here, and then following up with perhaps a well, actually that's not too bad an idea, to be honest. Silencing the Twilight Drake, using Wrath on the Zombie Chow, and then attacking for 5. That's a very valid option. Or, well, in this case, just deciding to keep it there. Other option is to draw a card from this Twilight Drake here. A little bit interested in why he didn't do that. Well, he's now going to be showing that one. He's going to be reducing his hit points by just a little bit here. And I guess for the Druid in this situation, it's not all that bad, given the fact that, well, he is currently sitting at a nice 27 health points, whereas SilentStorm is hanging around the lower regions of the first 20 life points that he gets. So, first 30 actually. For now, Twilight Drake coming into play. I would imagine Defender of Argus to join him on the battlefield, just to make it 5/7, make it even stronger against whatever Fizdarth can toss at him. But Fizdarth, well, drawing yet another Wrath, could go for an attack with the Ancient of Lore onto the Twilight Drake, following it up with a Wrath, and then maybe following that one up with a low tap or with the Druid of the Claw in haste mode. Actually, he draws a Interfaith. That's okay. He has opted to use the Rod's ability to draw a card rather than to go for an attack on the Twilight Drake and take it out that way. That's an interesting choice. Let's see how that will pan out. But it will give him that additional card. So he's opted to go for that card advantage rather than going for the life point advantage, especially given the fact that he's still he was on 27, now on 23. And Fizdarth needs to make a decision here. Does he want to be dropping a Druid of Claw and taking down SilentStorm really low? Or does he want to be dropping a Druid of Claw in taunt mode? I would say go for the low tap. Make sure that your opponent can't do anything strange. Attack your opponent for 2, bring him down to 12, and then next turn... Is Druid of Claw, was it Summoning Sickness? That's, I did not completely see that, to be honest. Ah, sorry, yes. Druid of Claw, correction, not Druid of Claw, the Keeper of the Grove had Summoning Sickness, so I was completely... My entire strategy just went out of the window because it had Summoning Sickness. So, Wild Grove is now available, so you can get an empty mana crystal. And because you're at 10 out of 10, that will immediately give him the an additional card. And ooh, this is really, really good here for Fizdarth. He could go for a Savage Roar here. His opponent is on 14, but he has a Sludge Belcher, so he has to deal with that one first. And to do so, an option would be attack the Sludge Belcher, take that one out with the Keeper of the Grove, and then subsequently attack SilentStorm directly with his heroic ability. Druid of Claw also coming into play. That one has to be with charge, I would imagine. It's almost the only thing that would make some sense. On the other hand, that would enable any Molten Giant shenanigans, so that's also something that Fizdarth has to keep in mind here. So Wildgrove is going to be giving him a card because of the fact that, well, you're on excess mana here. So effectively, Wildgrove now translates into 2 mana, draw a card, which is not all that bad. And here we go, second Savage Roar. That's going to allow Fizdarth to kill off the SilentStorm next turn. But that also depends, of course, on the Sludge Belcher here, because the Sludge Belcher is going to be saving SilentStorm a little bit longer. SilentStorm, though, has the battle cry for the Ironbeak Owl, so he will be able to drop the Ancient Watcher into a 4/5 attacker, allowing it to take out the Azure Drake if he so desires. And I like how the chat is already discussing how this is a little bit of a change to one of the top tier decks in the meta right now. However, Keeper of the Grove now coming out as well. What is Fizdarth going to be doing? He has enough mana available for the Savage Roar double comp. I think, yeah, that is actually a good game here with Innervate, Savage Roar, and that's more than enough damage if SilentStorm goes straight to the face. Alright, so we are going to be going into game number 3 with Fizdarth picking up a second win here. And actually I need to bring this one up to 1. And I need to get myself my coffee, so give me a second. 1 second. Going to get my coffee. Alright, so I have my coffee. That's very important, because without coffee I can't really do anything. So, yes, I have my coffee. That's very important. It's really early here in the morning. You can see it in the bottom side of the screen. And so we're going to be looking at Hunter versus Paladin. So let me actually pull that one up. There we go. Right, so this is not really a starting hand that SilentStorm wants to be going with. Of course, he has the Consecration, which is pretty good against a mid-range Hunter deck, because of the fact that you can kill off most of these small minions, especially if you team it up with, well, you can kill off everything with if you team it up with Equalized. But Consecration in general is just a good card. Fizdarth going for a, well, full-on mulligan. Let's see how this one will play out. So Hunter's Mark on the side of Fizdarth. Turn 1 is going to be SilentStorm. He can't play anything, so he will probably be giving that one over to... yeah, he's already giving that one over to Fizdarth. Fizdarth immediately starting it up with a Knife Juggler, I would imagine. Or actually opts to go for the Haunted Creeper. Okay, that's it's valid, not bad. You often see the knife juggler coming into play here, given the fact that, well, you want to be casting your minions before, after the knife juggler and not before it. This coffee is good. So for now, Freezing Trap is going to be played by Fizdarth, because that's going to be at least saving his creature for a little bit longer. But give a friendly minion Divine Shield and Taunt. That's not all that bad, to be honest. Freezing Trap is going to be sending the shielded mini-bot straight back to owner's hand. So let's see what Fizdarth has to say about this one. I would imagine a possible, well, his hand doesn't really seem all that good against SilentStorm's hand, because, well, this isn't the mid-range deck that we saw from the Hunter. It's actually a full-on aggro deck. I mean, we have the we do have the Houndmaster, which is not all that bad in the mid game, but given the fact that he also has the Abuser Sergeant, this looks to be a deck that is trying to survive on pure early game power alone, and maybe has some big monsters to hit back with. We've seen these being played in other cups as well, but for now, Knife Juggler is going to be shooting 1 damage. Unfortunately, it hits the one he didn't want to hit, which is SilentStorm's face, and you would have liked for the Knife Bot to actually have hit it, to have hit the shielded mini bots, but unbeknownst to Fizdarth, it has actually opened him up for a head-on consecration. So SilentStorm, well, he is pretty happy with the fact that this has happened. So, ooh, this is even making it a little bit better for SilentStorm here. As long as his minion doesn't go down, well, his minion does go down, but SilentStorm can now drop the consecration. Justice demands retribution. It has to be. It can't be much else than the consecration here. He could have gone for the shielded mini bot, but this is a chance you really don't want to pass up. On the other hand, though, he could also wait a turn and see what Fizdarth brings to the battlefield. On the flip side, well, that would make it that the Houndmaster would be able to save his save one of his beasts there. But nice consecration here, as expected. Well, SilentStorm, he's just going to be setting up for that mid game. And again, this comes down to who's the beatdown. Well, you can easily see that Fizdarth in this game is the beatdown. He has to put down as much pressure on the SilentStorm, but it's not working right now. It's very, very slow, and the only thing that Fizdarth can do is just drop the steady shot. And does he want to go for the Iron Beagle here? Well, he doesn't really have a choice, does he? Well, SilentStorm with a full hand and having withstood the full frontal assault by Fizdarth with just 1 consecration, SilentStorm looking very good in this third game. So low tap coming down, that's going to be blocking out the kill command. Not so much the Hunter's Mark, because that one actually can change its cost 0 normally. So what does Fizdarth want to do with it? And well, picking up the web spinner, he has of course the Houndmaster to drop the +2/+2 and taunt onto one of his minions, and decides to just go to the face. That's the only thing that he has left right now. And well, things aren't looking too good for SilentStorm. And to make matters worse, there's a Cockhammer, giving a random minion Divine Shield and Taunt, and given the fact it's low tap who has a lot of health just on his own, things are looking really bad here for Fizdarth, unless he gets something really big. He gets a Stranglethorn Tiger to be exact, and yeah, I would say that this game is definitely in the hands of SilentStorm. Fizdarth is going to be needing to pull out something out of his hat. I don't know what he's going to be doing so. But it's kind of curious on for SilentStorm what he wants to do. Does he want to just go all in and maybe set up with, say, a True Silver Champion just to deal even more sorts of damage. Of course, he still has the Cockle Hammer, he still has 2 turns remaining on that, so most likely he isn't going to be replacing that. So next turn, I would expect him to drop a shielded mini-bot, drop a Silver Hand Recruit, and just say, okay, go for it. Of course, well, we already talked about the Hunter's Mark, and we already discussed the fact that it was available for Fizdarth. Oh, well, problem solved. We now know what SilentStorm is going to be casting. Dr. Boom. Warning, boom bots may explode. And actually, they're attacking the Knife Juggler is actually attacking the Tiger while it's still in stealth mode. So that's also something you wouldn't expect, but is possible in the game of Hearthstone. So Webster coming into the hands of Fizdarth. And low tap being played from his side. However, well, 22, if we're looking at what is currently on the board here, we have 8 damage, 9 damage, actually we have 12 damage on the side of SilentStorm, making that 16 together with the True Silver Champion. It's not enough yet, and Fizdarth knows that, so I'm expecting SilentStorm to just go for a little bit more of a defensive play here. First clearing out Fizdarth's board, and then taking out Fizdarth's low tap on his own. That bomb, RNGesus, that's for sure. 4 damage to the face of Fizdarth. And well, this Boombot, where is it going to go? Actually, Boombot's going to go straight to the face here. Silver Hand Recruit coming out. Not using the Cockslap. Wow, it's not really. Not using his weapon to take out that small minion, but deciding to save his life just a little bit more. And in this case, Fizdarth will be, well, he will be dead, unless his Animal Companion Kill Command combo can save him, which I sincerely doubt. He's not going to be able to deal enough damage because of the Sludge Belcher. Sludge Belcher is going to be soaking up 2 of his attacks. He's going to need something that deals with Dr. Boom. That's going to give him an additional turn. He gets himself a taunt. He gets himself Misha, but that still means that his opponent, oh, Equality coming out. Yeah, it's more than enough to finish this game. Equality going to be reducing the Misha's health to 1. That's going to allow him to attack the Silver Hand Recruit, and then it's all over. That's 15 damage on the board. Actually choosing to go in with the Boombot to make it even more powerful. Boombot dealing 1 damage, but that doesn't really change anything because he already had 15 damage in terms of minions on the board. SilentStorm winning game number 3 here, and well, looking to secure his spot in the next round. However, we still have 2 more, maximum of 2 more games to go, and in the meantime, I'm going to actually fix the overlay a little bit, and I'm going to be showing you. Why can't I get myself a overlay fix? There we go. Right, so I'm going to be switching to myself now. Here we go. Yes! So I'm going to be enjoying the cookie. I'm going to be enjoying my coffee. And yeah, this is looking like a very good setup here. So we're waiting for the next game to start as SilentStorm is preparing to head into combat with the next one. Actually going to be enjoying the cookie. So yeah, for those who are wondering, I will post the link to the Wikipedia entry on what this cookie is. For now though, Hunter is down, and that means that there's only going to be a handlock on the side of SilentStorm, and Fizdarth's opting to go for the Hunter again. Well, let's see what is going to be coming out of this match here. So Warlock playing second, this is pretty good because that gives him the coin. And that's something that well, most of the handlocks really want to be going for. In this case though, SilentStorm playing against the Hunter deck that he just fought, he knows exactly what that Hunter deck wants to be doing. Just going aggro, aggro, aggro. And SilentStorm needs to get to the point where he can actually... well, actually, this is pretty good. Mortal Coil is going to give him a card. Just by taking out this Leprechaun. But... just the... oh wait, I need to actually switch it to the main screen, because else it won't work. There we go. So, Leprechaun onto the battle... Leper Gnome onto the battlefield. Mortal Coil immediately taking that one out. Apparently, it didn't quite switch. So... Haunted Creeper, bringing that one onto the battlefield, but other than that, he does not really have all that many options. He could go for the Knife Juggler. He has quite a few possibilities there, and SilentStorm in this case just going to be live tapping and saying, okay, you're just going to be dealing with 1 damage. What can you do with 1 damage? Well, Fizdarth's hoping to get that aggro going, and I would imagine drop the Knife Juggler and then immediately drop the Abusive Sergeant for a whopping 4 damage to the face of SilentStorm. But yeah, SilentStorm is like, okay, I have my Watcher, I have my coin, I'm going to be dropping the Sun Fury Protector as well. And that's going to put a really big dent into the plans of Fizdarth. And Fizdarth, I'm not entirely sure how he's going to be getting through this at this point. He's going to, well, most likely summon his Beast Companion. And to make matters worse, he does not want to be playing his Ironbeak Owl onto the Ancient Watcher, because that would turn the entire game, well, not really the entire game, that would also be very bad for Fizdarth, because it will allow the Ancient Watcher to just start attacking his minions. And, well, for a Hunter aggro deck, things aren't looking all too good at this point. So it is going to be Misha again. That's going to give him a little bit of a taunt backup in case of emergencies. And I would surmise that Fizdarth is just going to be attacking the Watcher here with his Haunted Creeper to get himself 2 more activations on the Knife Juggler. The issue with that though is that it makes him very, very vulnerable to either Hellfire or the Shadow Blast. So finally, Fizdarth is able to just clear out the entirety of the board of SilentStorm. Actually, just ignores the Sun Fury Protector. Smart move here. It is risky because of the fact that, well, a Hellfire would have actually cleared out Misha because of the fact that he did not, his Sun Fury Protector was not taken out. So Fizdarth taking a little bit of a risk here. On the other hand, though, he knows his opponent is going to just be dealing more and more life damage to himself. So that means that getting more damage in at this point is really, really good. It might open up for some Molten Giant shenanigans, but Fizdarth is willing to take that risk. For now though, Earthen Ring Farseer just restoring a little bit of health here, but that is going to be a massive chunk of damage coming out of Fizdarth here, because he has at least 8 damage on the battlefield. He has, including the hero damage, it's 12. He has 15 damage that he can toss out in 1 turn at this point, and SilentStorm, well, he has to take note of that. Of course, he has the Antique Heal bot that's going to allow him to heal back up all the way to about 17. But still, it's going to be a metric ton of damage. The advantage SilentStorm has though is if his opponent doesn't kill him outright, he's going to be able to pop the Mountain Giant and pop the Defender of Argus just to get himself even more defensive capabilities. So for now he's just going to be clearing out, actually they cleared out the Defender of Argus with the 2 Spiderlings. Correction, not the Defender of Argus, the Sun Fury Protector. But for now, a lot of damage being sent directly to the face of SilentStorm. And SilentStorm down to 13. And, well, SilentStorm has a few options here. But popping his Molten Giant isn't one of them. So what does he want to be doing right now? Well, he can send his Earthen Ring Farseer into the fray, taking out Misha. On the flip side though, it would probably be better to just drop the Antique Heal bot, bring himself back up to 21, and hope that he doesn't go down next turn. Because if he survives 1 more turn, that's all he actually needs, then he can drop himself a Molten Giant, maybe drop himself something else. And, well, I'm not entirely sure if that was the best option to actually take out this take Misha down a notch. The advantage that he does have, though, with taking him down is that he opens it up for a Dread Infernal next turn. And yeah, that would make it a little bit harder for Fizdarth. So for Fizdarth, he only has one goal right now. Go straight to the face. Make sure that his opponent is taken down as low as he can take him. And he has the possibility for that. He has at least 11 damage on the board, 14 now with the Eagle Horn Bow, 16 if he also uses his heroic ability. So there are a lot of options. I would imagine him going to just clear out the board first to make sure that Defender of Argus isn't all that effective, and then subsequently go all into the face of SilentStorm, bringing him down to 10. The issue though with this, bringing him down to 8 actually, issue is that it opens him up for a Molten Giant combo. On the flip side though, well, even the Molten Giant combo is not going to be enough to save him right now, because Defender of Argus, well actually, it might be Ironbeak Owl plus Defender of Argus plus Molten Giants. Is that going to be enough? Could be. I would rather imagine that he's going to be popping the Dread Infernal. That's going to be taking him down to 7. Actually, he opts to go for the Molten Giant combo. So he's going to get the Defender of Argus, but this is going to be spelling his doom. This is pretty much GG, because of the fact there's now Ironbeak Owl here. There is also an Animal Companion. So Ironbeak Owl is going to be silencing this Molten Giant, and that's GG, because this makes sure that SilentStorm is going to go down. Because, well, they're just going to be able to take out the final taunt, and then finally, with the steady shot, make sure that SilentStorm's hit points are reduced to 0. So excellent job here by Fizdarth, bringing it up to a 2-2 score. So already this best of 5 is completely going all the way. And so for those two, players to be facing off already in a full best of 5, given the fact that, well, SilentStorm is playing against the #1 seed for this tournament, things are looking to spice up a little bit more. And I'm actually interested to just get myself a little bit more in terms of coffee. So we'll be right back for game number 3, I believe. I believe they're actually already jumping into that game. They're still preparing to battle a friend, so yeah. And for those who are actually looking at my cup, this is my cup of tea, cup of coffee actually. I love it. This is one of my favorite mugs, to be honest. It's also one of the only mugs I have, but still. And yes, for those for Niet Venice, yes, it's a roze koek. You are completely correct. It is amazing. I love it. Right, so we are heading into game number 3. Let me actually pull up the overlay, and we can actually set up the score right now. There we go. 2-2. SilentStorm and Fizdarth playing the Warlock here. Let's see whether the Warlock actually, which Warlock is going to be winning here. Both look to be playing a similar variation, but I'm kind of curious on how this game is going to be playing out. So SilentStorm immediately going for the coin into life tap, starting that card advantage engine from his heroic ability. And it makes a lot of sense. If you're playing in this Warlock mirror, it's all going to be coming down to who has the, well, who's drawing the correct cards, but also who has the most cards. Because, well, like we saw before, it takes a lot of time before they actually start dealing a lot of damage to each other. And while Fizdarth has the advantage that he does have that initial setup, or rather he has the initial turn, SilentStorm being able to just already drop, oh, he's actually dropping an Ancient Watcher a little bit earlier, so he can switch up his mana use just a little bit. And, well, expecting Fizdarth to drop the Twilight Drake here, making it a 4 and 9. It's actually pretty good that the Watcher is now in play, because that's going to actually allow him to set up for the Sunfury Protector on the turn after this one, plus draw yet another life tap. So for now, we're still waiting for the next play here. Another Twilight Drake coming out, another 4-9 on the side of Fizdarth. And that makes a lot of sense. Most of the removal that is in the Warlock deck is based on damage. So if you have a high toughness creature on, or high toughness minion on the battlefield, then it's going to be very hard for SilentStorm to actually take those out. However, the double taunt here. The double taunt is going to make it so incredibly difficult for Fizdarth to actually get through this one, especially for the same reason that I just said, because he probably only has 1 or 2 siphon power that will allow him to get through this wall of taunts. And yeah, so what I would expect from Fizdarth is that he's going to be well, there's an option, and that's double attacking with his Twilight Drake onto the Twilight Drake and following that one up with a Mortal Coil, getting himself a card, and then maybe opting to go for, well, he could drop the Sludge Belcher. Harrison Jones, there are no weapons in the Warlock deck in most cases, so that would also be a valid option right now. Or just setting up for his own big turns with the Pilot Shredder and the Ancient Watcher. And this is maybe where the two decks diverge a little bit. You have the Pilot Shredder on the side of Fizdarth, you have the Void Caller on the side of SilentStorm, and both of them are very valid options. So yes, as expected, Mortal Coil onto the Twilight Drake, going to give him a little bit more, actually Voidwalker in Fizdarth's deck as well. But going to give him a few more cards, giving him an additional card, taking out his opponent's card as well. Card advantage engine already running, and Sludge Belcher is going to be making sure that SilentStorm, even with Molten Giants, is going to need at least 2 more turns to get through that one. And Sylvanas Windrunner in the hands of SilentStorm is not that bad. It's not that shabby. And to be honest, I could actually see a combo happening right here in just a few seconds. So what do they want to be going for? Well, there are a few options. That's just trying to take out the Sludge Belcher, but in this case, SilentStorm finally opting to pick up to bring out the Sylvanas Windrunner, and I can't really blame him at this point because, well, he has a lot of options, but he wants to wait 1 more turn for Dr. Boom to come onto the battlefield. Meantime, I'm going to finish a little bit of coffee as we're waiting for the next play for Fizdarth. And yeah, so Fizdarth, he has a nice hand of cards, about 10 cards if I'm counting correctly. Yeah, so if he draws more cards, he's going to be forced to destroy them. That's not really something he wants to be doing. So he does have the silence, but that's not going to be dealing with the Ancient Watcher because, well, just like last game, silencing the Ancient Watcher will allow it to attack. And yeah, Fizdarth is just waiting for a perfect opportunity. He does not have the Mortal Coil. So Iron Beguile is just going to be clearing out Sylvanas Windrunner ability, and Shadow Flame is going to take out most of the enemy's board. Nice combo there, just attacking into an immediate removal of that Sylvanas. And Fizdarth just going to be dropping the Voidwalker, shoring up his defenses just a little bit more, and SilentStorm, well, picking up a zombie chow this late in the game is not really what you were looking for. A board advantage definitely going to Fizdarth at this point, but SilentStorm having a little bit of hand advantage at this point. Although there's not all that much that he can do with it at this stage of the game. So he's going to be needing to drop maybe a Twilight Drake. That's going to be a 4-9, a 4-10 actually, and a Sun Fury Protector to shore up his side of the board. So Siphon Power, Siphon Soul, oh, it's not Siphon Power, Siphon Soul finally coming into play, and it's interesting to see it being used this early. Of course it's a 4-10, and of course it's hard to deal with, but the issue is that using the Siphon Soul this early will leave you open to Lloyd Jaraxxus, will leave you open to the Molten Giant taunt combination coming out of SilentStorm here. And SilentStorm opting to go for Dr. Boom plus the Zombie Chow, that makes a lot of sense. Mana efficiency is very big with this one. So Fizdarth, he has 23 life, so he's not going to be using his Lloyd Jaraxxus anytime soon. But he can easily set up for a next turn with, he has the Defender of Argus. He of course has the Big Game Hunter to deal with Dr. Boom. So that's also a very big possibility. And what I would imagine coming out of Fizdarth is that he wants to prevent dealing too much damage to SilentStorm right now, because that would open up the Molten Giant abuse that we've seen so often in this tournament. So I would imagine that both of them, correction, both of the Warlocks right now have Mal'Ganis in their deck. And the reason why I'm saying that, well, SilentStorm, we already saw the Mal'Ganis, but given the fact that he's also playing Voidwalkers, Mal'Ganis giving demons +2/+2 does make it so that SilentStorm, well, correction, what will make it so that Fizdarth actually has some form of attack power with the Voidwalker. Voidwalkers, the 1/3 taunts, they are brought in, I would imagine, to shore up the aggro hunter matchup, because they are very powerful in that one, especially because they have such a high toughness for their mana cost ratio. And oh my word, this is a pretty good 2-drop here for Fizdarth, bringing in the Nat Bagel. And of course, yes, he is going to be losing most of his board. However, he has a 50% chance to actually draw a card from Nat Bagel, and he doesn't. He doesn't get the card. So in this case, it's not as powerful as you would have liked. But Nat Bagel is a good 2-drop to actually get out of the Piloted Shredder. Just not in this case. For now though, we have 10 mana on the side of Fizdarth. There's a Molten Giant on the side of SilentStorm. And let's take a quick look at the hand. Antique Healbot, Dark Bomb, Harrison Jones, Ancient Watchers. I would surmise double... Is that double Ancient Watcher? No, just one Ancient Watcher. He does have double Defender of Argus. So he could go for Ancient Watcher and drop 2 Defenders of Argus. That's a possibility that will shore up his defenses, but where will he go from there? Well, where will Fizdarth go from just shoring up his defenses to actually winning the game against SilentStorm? SilentStorm is currently at 14. It's pretty low, so he has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't go too low. Fortunately though, SilentStorm has the Sludge Belcher available. But Fizdarth, what does he want to be doing? Does he want to be bringing up even more power? Well, in this case, he knows his opponent does not have a weapon, so he's not going to be saving Harrison Jones. He's just going to be shoring up his defenses for now, and forcing his opponent to make a decision in terms of who do you want to take out. Do you want to take out Harrison Jones, or do you want to be taking out Nat Bagel? So, well, SilentStorm has quite a few options here. There is also the option of using Shadow Flame, but that's a little bit of a waste, to be honest. Actually, SilentStorm could use Void Color into Shadow Flame to clear out most of the board and take out Harrison Jones like that. A little bit scary in that regard. Low tap into Shadow Flame is also a possibility, but that would be a waste of low tap. I would definitely not advise that, especially if your opponent is going to be has the option of refilling the board right there. So both decks also having 12 cards, so fatigue is not yet a threat, but it will be in the next few. So yeah, it's going to be Shadow Flame plus low tap, going to be taking out the entire board, and that's going to allow the Mountain Giant to go straight to the face, taking it down to 15. So Fizdarth, well, now has to deal with this Molten Giant. Of course, he has the Piloted Shredder, he has the Defender of Argus to complement both of them. That's at least going to make it a little bit harder for SilentStorm. But that still doesn't make it any worse for SilentStorm at this point. He still has a pretty good setup here. Still at 14 health. Could perhaps maybe take out the Piloted Shredder here. And I'm hoping that whatever comes out of the Shredder is only 1 toughness and use the Mortal Coil on that. And then next to that can drop the Void Caller together with the Defender of Argus and the Ancient Watcher to shore up his own defenses. And well, that will allow him to set up for the next turn. So it's curious what he wants to be doing. I would say first find out what the hidden information is. The hidden information becomes known the moment you actually take out the pilot shredder. So I would say SilentStorm would be attacking the piloted shredder here. Although, well, in this case he just draws an additional card, drops the Sludge Belcher. That's also the same as 2 taunts. The issue though being that he does not want to. Okay, so what SilentStorm has done here is the exact is completely different from what I expected him to do. The reason why I would have expected him to actually attack these pilot the shredder is because the 4/5 ancient cannot attack, and that means that the Sludge Belcher will not be going down that easily. And given the fact that well, SilentStorm's minions are all 5 or lower. Okay, that's an interesting one. Choosing to Dark Bomb the Molten Giant. That's curious to say the least. It means that he wants to be saving the Shadow Flame for a little bit longer. And he expects his opponent to have some form of follow-up to all of this. So Mortal Coil is going to be giving SilentStorm another card to add to his collection, and Voidcaller into Defender of Argus. That would work, but this is perhaps why I would have expected him to drop the Piloted Shredder and using the Shadow Flame to blow up the entirety of SilentStorm's board. Especially because it would have allowed him to save the Dark Bomb for a little bit longer. On the flip side though, right now, it's not all that bad. I mean, there are some options to get through this this taunt line. For instance, Fizdarth could... Actually, it's kind of hard now for Fizdarth. He does have the new Nerubian Egg. He's actually opting to go straight for his Lord Jaraxxus, so he's going to be most likely hoping to win off the back of his Infernals. And to be honest, at this point, it's not really that bad a solution, because, well, his opponent does not have anything in the form of aggression. His opponent does not have anything on the board that can actually burst through the Sludge Belcher. So he's going to have to... SilentStorm will most likely... Let's see, how can he get through the Sludge Belcher? Well, one option is to attack the Sludge Belcher with the Defender of Argus, then follow it up with the Voidcaller. Or drop the Mal'Ganis. That's also not really that bad, because, well, Fizdarth, even though Fizdarth might have a very good setup at this point in terms of defenses with Sludge Belcher, he also does not have all that much in terms of aggression, because, well, only 5 power on the board versus the 11 health in terms of taunt on the side of SilentStorm. Is this stream frozen? Yeah, apparently he just needs to reload it. I was just going to ask it. So, yeah, it's going to be an attack. Oh, actually, he's dropping his Jaraxxus onto the board. That's a curious setup here. A very risky proposition. Let's see if that one works out, Cotton. So yeah, it's Lord Jaraxxus against Lord Jaraxxus. And, well, if Fizdarth actually saved his 7 power for a little bit longer, he could have taken out Lord Jaraxxus like that. If I'm not mistaken, because he still counts as a minion. But for now though, SilentStorm. Fizdarth has a few options ready. He can use his Defender of Sunfury Protector to get a few defenses in place. The issue though is, how is that going to be winning him the game? Answer is probably not. Low tap into Shadow Flame would take out most of the defenses on the side of Fizdarth. And then you can follow it up with a Mortal Coil onto the Ancient Watcher here. And in this case, opting to go for the Infernal is just going to be giving himself some form of defense. Dropping the low tap as well. and just getting ready for the next turn. And actually, this makes a lot more sense, because now he has set himself up for that next turn. We'll be able to drop the Shadow Flame or the on the low tap, taking out the entirety of the board of SilentStorm. And if SilentStorm decides to drop Mal'Ganis, then things turn really sour for SilentStorm, because, well, Fizdarth will just drop the Shadow Flame, Mortal Coil the Mal'Ganis, and then finish it up with a few hits to the face. Apparently people are currently saying Golden Mortal Coil pay to win confirmed. Wow, amazing, guys, you are amazing in the... And that's exactly what I love about Twitch chat. Not enough kappa spam at this point. But yeah, for now, SilentStorm has a few options. His Hellfire is pretty expensive though, in order to deal that much damage to all the characters. It's again also a very risky proposition, because this is going to be adding the Nerubian to the side of Fizdarth. Mal'Ganis is coming in. It's going to allow... Wait a minute. Ah, of course, yeah, Mal'Ganis is coming in via the Voidwalker. Apparently the turn has frozen for me, but I'm hoping that it will catch up soon enough. It's a little bit unfortunate, and sometimes that's what happens when actions are done during the turn. So the Black Knight coming in, that's going to be taking out the Ancient Watcher, that's for certain. And, well, I'm hoping that it will not completely freeze. It actually looks like it. It looks like the spectator mode has frozen. I don't know how this happened. Or no, it's back. Now it's working again. So Shadow Flame, opting not to use the Dark Knights. Okay, so Jaraxxus is no longer a hero. Okay, that changed from when from the last time I actually used Lord Jaraxxus. So it's my mistake. My mistake. For now, though, SilentStorm on 2 hit points remaining does not have anything on the board. And cannot drop a taunt. Well, can he drop a taunt? No, he cannot drop a taunt. He cannot take out his opponent. So I would say it's game. It is Fizdarth who will be going 3-2 in this matchup. And SilentStorm, unfortunately, after being 2-1 up, is taken out by Fizdarth, who, well, not so unfortunate for him, is now going to just advance to the next round. And SilentStorm is just taking a little bit more time than needed. Just going to be dropping the Dread Infernal and immediately taking himself out. Or is he going to be taking himself out? Well, yeah, he's just going to be taking himself out. Dark Bomb onto himself. Boom. End of story. Fizdarth advances to round 16. Congratulations.